Hello guys, so today I thought I would do mine and baby boy's 4-week postpartum update. I know I only did my 2 and 3 week one. To be fair, it probably was a week ago now because I'm so behind on doing all of them, but yeah, I thought that I would try and keep on top of them. So at 4 weeks, I can't believe it, he has been here for a month already. It's just crazy. I know I used to say this on all of my pregnancy updates that every week was getting scarier and scarier, and I couldn't believe how quickly it was going, but it's going so much more quickly, so much quicker. Now that he's here, it's so scary. So in terms of how he's been doing, I will insert some clips because he's asleep, and I realised that in my last video I didn't actually include him in it, and the whole video was about him. So in terms of how he's been this week, sleeping has been really, really good. He tends to either do a 10 o'clock feed, or kind of 10:30, then 2:30, then 6:30, so every 4 hours at night time. During the day is a completely different story. He cluster feeds, he'll go 4 hours without feeding, then he'll want to feed like every 20 minutes for 2 hours, and then he'll have an hour without feeding, and then a quick 10-minute feed. It's just really, really varied in the day. But at night time, he tends to go for 4-hour stretches. Now, if it's 10:30, 2:30, 6:30, I only count that as one wake up for me because I'm up at 10:30 anyway, and 6:30, I kind of get up then. There's no point in me going back to sleep because Jasper will be up anytime from then anyway. Sometimes he'll do 9:30, 1:30, 5:30, which is more 2 wake ups for me because it's 1:30 and 5:30, and I'm not going to get up properly at 5:30. Jasper's on the floor here, that's who you can hear. And then yeah, kind of up from about 7:30 after that. That's really good. In terms of feeding, he's doing really, really well. I weighed him at my mum's house on Friday, so he would have been 3 weeks, like 3 weeks and 5 days, and he was 11 pounds, which I think is really, really good. He was 8'12" when he was born, lost 5% of his body weight after day 3, was 2 ounces under his body weight by day 5, and then by day 12 he was 9'6". So within 2 weeks he had then gone up to 11 pounds, which I thought was really, really good. Today though, I went to take him to get weighed because I haven't actually taken him to a place to be weighed yet until today, and he was just under 11 pounds. It was something like, he was 499 on Friday, 4.99 on Friday kilograms, and now he's 4.85, but he has been a little bit poorly, so I'll go on to that now anyway. So I'm not concerned. I'm going to take him next week and just try and make it more regular instead of going this long without doing it. So yeah, he's been really poorly. Well, not really, really poorly, just a little bit poorly, but it always seems so much worse when they're that tiny. So it started off and he would feed and then come off the boob quite quickly, and he'd kind of make like a gagging face, but he wouldn't actually gag, but it was as if it was hurting him. So I didn't know if it was hurting his tongue, his throat when he was swallowing, his tummy. I didn't know what it was. And it was like that for a couple of days, but he wasn't crying, and he wasn't like, it didn't seem like he was really in pain. It was just maybe a bit uncomfortable or difficult, I don't know. But he was still feeding absolutely fine. It's just sometimes he would come off. And then after a couple of days of that, he had a cough. And yeah, it was just quite a dry cough. But then one day I came in and he had a bit of phlegm on his chin, so he'd obviously coughed that up. On Friday night, I took his temperature in the middle of the night, and I ended up going and getting some Snuffle Babe and like elevating his head under his sleepy head bed nest thing, just to really try and clear his throat. And he was really snuffly as well, and he had quite a blocked nose, and you could just hear it, and it was obviously difficult for him to feed because his nose was blocked, his mouth was on my boob, so there was nowhere for the air to get in. And then he'd come off, and then he'd kind of make a face as if it hurt a little bit, and then he'd start coughing. So yeah, it just wasn't nice for him, and obviously it sounded worse because he's so tiny. So early hours of Saturday morning, he called 111 because his cough, it just got quite hacky, and it just sounded like a bit more of a wet cough. And of course I googled it, and it said any kind of cough when they're under 1, you should see a doctor straight away. So that obviously made me panic and called 111 and had all these thoughts going through my head. But he was fine. The doctor went to the out of hours, and she listened to his chest, said it was absolutely clear, even though you could hear it like a rattle when he breathed, but she said it was clear. His ears were fine, his throat looked fine, his temperature had gone down, so that was fine. It had only gotten up to 37.9, so it hadn't got up to 38, which is when you would start to worry, and it was kind of going between 37.4 and 37.9, and she just said to wait until Monday, and if it was still bad, then to see someone else. So I saw someone on Monday. She said exactly the same thing. You know, there's nothing you can do when they're that tiny. you know, it's not affecting his feeding. He's still weeing, pooing. He goes kind of 3 days without and then does like a huge poo explosion, which we got last night. But yeah, she said as long as he's alert, sleeping, feeding, weeing, pooing, all of those things, then it's not really a worry unless it goes on for too long. And here he is. Hello. Say, don't look at me, I'm shy. So it did get to a point as well where you couldn't really hear him cry properly because he was so husky and he just couldn't make a sound, so it was really heartbreaking. But yeah, the doctor just said if it lasts for much longer then come back, but apart from that there's not much that we can really do. She just said he's blocked with mucus in his nose and that's what's causing the cough because he's not strong enough to kind of and like clear it and cough it up. So she just said it probably will take a little while to go, but just keep an eye on it, and if he has any other symptoms, then come back. But apart from that, he's absolutely fine. His skin is still quite spotty. I'll see if I can show you. Hello! Oh, I'll try and do a close-up so you can see properly. You can see as well that his hairline has really changed. So before, it was really, really thick right up to the front, whereas now you can see it's more just on top. So yeah, he is changing a lot in the way that he looks. His eyelashes are still really long. He's still really long and skinny. Yeah, he's a really, really good baby. Everyone's like, he's so calm, he's so content. He only really cries if he wants to have a little cuddle, if he needs feeding, which is kind of typical of most babies, isn't it? But he's not a very fussy baby, just very cuddly and very, very cute. But that's it, isn't it, BB? We're off to get him registered today, so hopefully... Oh yeah, I don't know. No, my last video I told you that we had agreed on Jensen Bear for his name. We're going to get him registered today. When I introduce him to people, I kind of just say Jensen. So a lot of people are saying, why don't you just choose one, Jensen or Bear? So we'll see. I've literally got like an hour to decide before we have to go. So in terms of things that he likes, he loves having a bath. He has one 2-3 times a week. He loves going in his Nuna chair because it just rocks him off gently. He also loves going in his little turtle grow, play, baby gym thing. Being in the car he likes. If he cries, like when I first get him in, as soon as I start driving, he stops. So he definitely likes motion. Yeah, what else do you like? He loves just watching and listening. I guess most babies do. Size-wise, he's very, very long. In clothes, he's in 0 to 3. Newborn stuff doesn't fit him anymore. Some 0 to 3 stuff is already like at the end, like he won't be in it for much longer if he keeps growing at this rate. So yeah, he's definitely a big boy. He's definitely going to be tall like his dad. So in terms of me, as soon as I hit 4 weeks, I decided to start getting back into my exercise. I don't go by weight or anything. If anything, I want to put weight on, or just I want to tone up and I want to get my strength back and just be healthier. I feel like I get really out of breath when I walk up the stairs. Carrying him now, I'm really hot, but then it is a hot day and he's like a hot water bottle. I feel like I don't have a bum anymore because I haven't been doing my squats and I just don't have any tone or definition. And I know it's only been 4 weeks, but my recovery was really good and I'm not going to go at it too hard. Loads of people have been like, oh no, you shouldn't do it yet till 6 weeks. And you know, I'm not doing anything crazy. I did a HIIT workout on Sunday, but it was a beginner's one. And I know my body, if I'm feeling uncomfortable, I won't carry on. And yeah, I've just been trying to eat. I haven't cut anything out. I still love my chocolate, love my sweets, love my cake. Oh God, the lighting has gone awful. There we go. But I've just tried to introduce like more fruit and more veg and drink more water. And yeah, just get more exercise. So that's been really good. It's made me feel really positive and more motivated. I'm sleeping better in between feeds and yeah, just being more productive. So that is good. My stomach, it was down pretty much within 2 weeks. So that hasn't really changed. I would say it's a bit saggier, like the skin around the belly button, just where kind of the final bits of baby weight are going. So that's just something I'm gonna have to work on with like sit-ups and using my bio oil and stuff like that. Still bleeding ever so slightly, not like a lot. I probably don't need to use anything, but I have a pad in all the time just in case. And that's it. That's me for 4 weeks really. No changes apart from the fact that I've started exercising. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.